Hello, I'm Joshua Hyams, and you're watching the first ever Norwich Leighton Live here at Epic Studio. That was the wonderful Birds of Hell, who will be joining me later on in the couch. Also coming up on today's show, we have interviews with the fantastic Pulled Apart by Horses, as well as some of Norwich's finest young filmmakers. I'll also be speaking to the mighty Khan. All of that and more on tonight's Norwich Leighton Live. But first up, we sent our reporter Will down to the bar here at Epic to meet up with Pulled Apart by Horses. This is what they had to say.
I'm joined here on the sofa tonight with Tom and Lee, two members of Pulled Apart by Horses.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Good, yeah. In Sleepy Town at the moment. Just had some food, but
Sleepy Town being Norwich.
yes, the Sleepy Town of Norwich. We've already spotted the partridge today.
Yeah.
Oh, the partridge. Oh yeah, the one in Anglia Square.
Yeah.
It was the first thing we saw when we pulled up. So
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys have been described as a lot of different things. I mean, with your Italian music. No, not rubbish.
Italian.
No, alternative and stoner rock, I think, came up as one of them.
What did Alex from Holy Raw call us? Did he call us grunge pop?
I can't remember.
Grunge pop. We just end up calling it rock. Because it's like you've got indie, metal,
And a lot of descriptions and kind of supposed genres lose their meaning after a while. Like, what's post-hardcore nowadays? I mean, like that used to be something, but now it's just any band that isn't, just a straight-up rock band. They call it post-hardcore band. So
a lot of your music could be described as kind of a bit not angry, but there's a take for example. I think is it Venom? Yeah. You got the whole middle fingers going up and everything like that.
Yeah, that's all done in fun though.
It's more energy than anger.
Yeah. I think there's aggression definitely, but that's kind of a different thing to actually being. We're not really angry about it.
I mean, do you just find yourselves in like a small box for a couple of weeks, just taking out all your anger, and then afterwards?
I think like sometimes the more a tour goes on, the more you kind of lose your mind.
Obviously, we're really excited about playing new songs, but it's if you kind of throw too many in people's faces at once, it can be a bit overwhelming. So we're just kind of playing.
I've seen loads of bands before where it's just like
a bit intense.
Really, an awesome band, but they're so psyched about having a new album that that's all you get, and then you get like one song at the end, and it's like it's kind of cool, but you want to, you still need to mix it up a bit.
So you guys are performing at Reading and Leeds this year, on the main stage. How does that feel? Is it
good? I mean, it's second time, so the fact that it happened once was insane. And
it was scary the first time.
Yeah, but being asked back after kind of having essentially like a year and a half off was like really nice that people still care. Yeah.
Is there anything you guys like to do as a group outside of music, or is it just like
lose money to our tour manager?
Yeah. No, we all hate each other actually.
That's where the aggression comes from.
Good stuff. So joining me on the couch, we have Paul, James and Lee, collectively referred to as Khan. How you guys doing? All okay? Yeah. Welcome to the sofa. For those of you at home who don't know what these guys are all about, let's take a look. There we go. So that was from your gig here a couple of weeks ago with Pulled Apart by Horses. How was the gig for you? Nice Nice work.
Yeah, it was awesome, man.
Do you know those guys well? Have you worked with them before? With them?
Yeah, we have actually.
Yeah,
we have.
previous band we've played with them before. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I just want to talk everyone through the setup here. So we have Paul, you're on vocals and electric guitar. We have James on bass and vocals, and Lee's a drummer.
Yeah.
The reason I mention that is because, you know, James, you used to play guitar in your previous bands. You've never really done much singing before in your life.
No.
Lee, my question is, you know, have you tried anything else, basically? Is it just drums? You're
I
just
did.
a through
I did do
drummer?
a bit of vocals in the last band that we were in.
You did?
But
Okay.
this is probably why we have a new band now.
That's the only reason, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Have you so you haven't considered singing along as well?
Oh,
Nope.
no.
We've tried to encourage it, but
Well, I mean,
it's, you know, it's not really happening.
yeah, but you play bass and sing. You know, that's hard enough, right? Like that's a skill.
If Phil Collins ever dies, then I
You
might-
take right. That's what I was
I
thinking.
might
You can only
do.
have one person doing that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, you're just doing the Phil Collins thing.
Yeah.
Basically, only one person could do that. So, I mean, you know, Broadswords was something that happened a couple of years ago, and you kind of you've been a bit sneaky since then. Haven't really seen much of you. What's been going on?
Yeah, what have we done?
What have you
Rough
What have you
couple
done?
of years, to be honest. We're back on it this year.
You are back
We're
on it
a
this
couple of
year.
years out, a lot of stuff went on, but
Mhm.
now we're back on
Band
it.
stuff or kind of away from that?
Personal life stuff.
Yeah, kind
Personal
of
life
just real
stuff.
life,
Let's
you
not
know.
get into that.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
dark, right?
Yeah.
This is like a family show.
Yeah, it's best keep away from
We're
that.
back on it now.
Okay, so what's the next step here then? We spoke to you outside and you said you were recording next week. Pretty
Yeah.
exciting. What's that all about? What's in the pipeline?
Well, we're probably going to do 2, maybe 3 songs.
Mhm.
I don't think we really know whether we're going to release it as a single or quite what we're going to do with it yet. We'll kind of see how it goes and take it from there. But just really excited to get something recorded again because nobody's heard any of our new stuff apart from the Pulled Up by Horses gig. So
Okay.
it's kind of, you know,
So when can we expect to hear some of that?
We'll burn some CDRs and
Yeah, we'll probably stick it online the same night, won't we?
yeah, probably.
as soon as. Really,
Yeah,
Next
yeah.
Sunday
Okay.
night, we'll probably put
Next
something
Sunday
online.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
So what's the next step after that? Are you going to be playing any festivals, any gigs lined up this summer?
We've got something in Manchester.
Yeah, there's a festival in
Stages
Manchester that we got asked to do, which
Sweet.
was pretty cool. Which is the second gig outside of the county.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite hard because, you know, you're a very local band.
Yeah.
I don't mean
Yeah.
that as a criticism. I'm just
No,
saying
no.
it's hard to break away from that, I guess, as well. And, you know, considering you haven't been doing anything for a while,
Yeah.
it's hard to, you know, we're making new stuff, like, give us gigs,
Yeah,
basically, you know.
This is the thing. I mean, we all sort of played a lot of gigs all over the place and stuff in our previous bands as well. So it's kind of like we just want to
You've already got that
ease our
kind of
way into
network.
it a little bit. Yeah, it's just kind of like easing our way into it this time. And
Mhm.
if something good comes up, we'll go play somewhere. But
We haven't got much
you know.
time left, but just quickly, what's kind of could you give us a little clue as to what kind of thing you're working on? Is it more of the same or something a bit new?
It's probably more of a. I hate to say it grown up because we're pretty
More
grown up.
2 years
Yeah.
better,
Pretty
basically.
grown
let's
up
say.
already, but
Well,
I mean,
listen.
it's more of a bigger developed sound. I'd probably say.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining me here in the
Yeah.
studio. Let's
Cheers.
get a quick round of
Cool,
applause for
cheers.
Khan here, everybody. Thank you very much, guys, seriously. So now we are going to be hearing from 2 very talented young local filmmakers trying to make their mark here in our fine city. They'll be talking us through the trials and triumphs of getting started.
Filmmaking started off just as a hobby when I was probably about 11 or 12, just making simple animations on Microsoft Paint, and then doing things with friends with kind of cheap digital cameras. Inspirations as a filmmaker when I was younger were kind of the obvious ones, so it was like Quentin Tarantino and Martin Scorsese, and they still are today to a point, but I mean I kind of get inspired by a lot more kind of wide range of things. Everyone can make a film if they want to, but there's kind of good and bad sides to that. Good in that it's so easy to make films now with technology, but bad in the fact that there's so much more competition and everyone is doing it. I mean, being based in Norwich has its kind of ups and downs. I mean, it's good and there's kind of quite a good kind of creative scene and a fairly good film scene, and there's lots of kind of cool networking things going on.
We're looking for our sister.
She's out there. We'll find her.
Pandemic is probably kind of the most difficult filmmaking experience and film I've put together so far. It's kind of the Murphy's Law of everything that can go wrong will go wrong. So actors dropped out or moved away, and kind of dates conflicted with things. And we shot a bunch of the film a few years back, and it just wasn't coming together the way I wanted it to. So we scrapped the whole thing. We rewrote the script, restructured the kind of story of it, and recast it, which is the film it is today. I started off looking at films kind of in the same genre, kind of post-apocalyptic things. So kind of Lost was a big one in kind of getting the feel of it and kind of selling those kind of desolate places. So as well as Pandemic, which should be finished very soon, I'm also working on kind of third-year piece for university, which is a film called Civvy Street. It's something very different than I've done before. It's very character-driven, and it's kind of not kind of the zombie guts and gore that people are used to from my films.
My name is Chris Smith. I'm a Norfolk filmmaker, low-budget filmmaker. I've worked on some short films, and I've just finished my first feature film. I was inspired by making films at the age of 6 when my siblings started making films and got me to act in them, and all of a sudden I started wanting to become an actor, and no one would give me that, so the only excuse I could do was make these films myself. The Lost School was something that was very picky, obviously, just due to getting things accurate in a historical sense, making sure people didn't say certain language that didn't make sense, like you couldn't use these certain words, or costumes had to be specific. But whereas If I'm Still Here was a bigger budget, we were focusing with a lot more talented people and getting a team together. It was a personal thing when I wanted to make I'm Still Here. My family reacted to my aunt who suffered from breast cancer and died within 2 years, suffering throughout it. And I've seen a lot of films about sort of illnesses and cancer, but it was never really focused on too much about the people around that victim.
It's been 72 days since I found out I was going to die. The time just goes by. In all honesty, it sure as hell hasn't been fun.
Currently I'm working on a short film which happens to be a sequel of a film I made 2 years ago, which is called Z-Lister. The sequel happens to be called Z-Listers.
You see the bullet entered through the left eye socket and ricocheted through the brain. Ricocheted? What? You said ricocheted. Did I? Are you sure?
It's more of a spin-off about the friend character, so it's not a continuous storyline. It's focusing on the friend character from the first film as he deals with financial troubles getting copyright with the BBC.
Great stuff. Now, we teased you at the start of the show with a little taste of Birds of Hell, and now here he is again performing Boa Constrictor. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and then apart again in quick succession for Birds of Hell. There we go. Birds of Hell is on his way now to join me on the sofa. But in the meantime, if you want to get in contact with our team to be a part of our audience or showcase your musical talents, you can find us on Twitter at Zanus Media or by using the hashtag Norwich Late and Live. So Birds of Hell is now making his way over. Hello there, sir. How are you doing? Honestly, real pleasure. Come and sit down.
Cheers.
Please, you dressed up for the occasion there.
That's right, yeah.
Just before we
Best
start,
shoes.
someone should have mentioned you do have a little
Oh, really?
bit of,
Whereabouts?
just like kind of there. I don't know
No,
if that.
cheers for the
it's
heads
okay,
up.
no worries. I thought I'd get the one out of the way before we went any further. But seriously, real treat having you here.
No,
I really
cheers.
appreciate it. That's kind of what I want to talk to you about as well. Your persona, basically, your stage persona. Is it you, or is that an alter ego? Is it what you want to be? What's it all about?
I didn't really think about it too much. I
Okay.
like the colours, and music is where, you know, you can have a bit of theatre.
That's right.
And you can have a bit of fun. And I don't know, it'd be nice to, not that everyone has to paint their face or whatever, but, you know, it's nice to see it when people make
an effort.
Make a bit of extra effort.
Absolutely.
You know? I just enjoy it. It kind of helps me get in the right frame of mind.
Okay,
you know,
what,
before
just
I play and stuff.
become that kind of thing, become the performance? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess so. Just kind of get psyched up, you know. And not that, you know, I'm playing Wembley Stadium or anything, but at the same time, I do care about what I'm doing. So I try to get in the right frame of mind, you know. So.
Yeah, well, it comes across, absolutely. Let's talk about Boa Constrictor. That's a little bit of that right there, which you just performed, not the whole thing.
Yeah.
But because you gig a lot usually, right? And recently you've kind of not so much because you're focusing on this single, is that right?
Yeah, I've been recording that song, and started recording a follow-up EP and stuff, and that's the single's coming out. Boa Constrictor's coming out on a local label called General Records. I'm going to be their first release, so
oh wow,
made a video, part of it in here actually.
Okay.
And part of it in a friend's studio. So yeah, just kind of you have to take a break. You can't do everything, you know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
I mean, if some amazing opportunity came up, then I dare say I'd rehearse my pants off and get on with it, I guess. But, you know, you need to put time aside for these things. If
Absolutely,
they're gonna
it makes sense. And also build up the kind of hype as well around it, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
So can we talk a little bit about Boa? I don't want to assume that it's a metaphor. Is it about being swallowed by a boa constrictor?
It's a poem. It's a poem written by a guy called Shel Silverstein in the 1960s.
Okay.
And it's now a children's song. And so I've changed it, obviously. It's not usually done with a vocoder.
Yeah.
It's not usually done in such a sort of with such minor chords and stuff like that. It's kind of cheery, but I haven't changed the words.
No.
The words are about getting swallowed by a boa constrictor.
Right, yeah.
So
it's literal.
it's kind of a cover, really, of a children's song.
Okay. Well, you know, it was a bit scary, I have to say.
That's all right.
I'm not
well.
a child anymore, but I got a bit terrified of that. So have you got any plans for the push on there, really? Have you got any gigs lined up for the summer?
Yeah, well, I'm playing this really lovely local festival called Harlequin Fair. It's a 3-day thing, and it's one of the most. I played it last year. It's one of the most lovely things I've been to. So
Nice.
I'm looking forward to playing that. And I've kind of been turning down gigs to just concentrate on videos and recording and things like that, and writing new material. So it'll all start. I think they call it a campaign, don't they?
Right, exactly. The big
campaign.
push. You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's not going to happen with one single. You know, you do a single, you do an EP, and then whatever. Take from there.
Slowly
Eventually build towards an album. Probably.
I do want to talk quickly about the Dead Grandma song, because I've never seen you perform it, and it's quite fascinating for you guys in the audience and at home as well. Basically, you found a vinyl with your grandma singing on. Is that correct?
Found a few records. She wasn't a professional, but back when the family had some money, she had some recordings done. This is a long time ago, like in the 1940s.
But the important part is that you isolated her vocals, and so essentially you sing with your dead grandma.
Yeah, she drifts into
a little creepy, right?
She drifts into the end of the song, and I kind of sing along with her. And and a lot of my stuff is about my family. And
that's kind of autobiographical kind of thing. Most of your songs are about your family, and you know, is that your own main inspiration? Really, you just.
I think I try and, you know, if I lived in, you know, South Central LA, maybe I'll be writing about something else. But I live in Norwich. So,
so you work with what you know, right?
You've got to work with what you've got. I think, you know, I'm trying to write about what I know about, and I've got some, you know, there's a few juicy stories in everyone's family, I'm sure, and there certainly is in mine. So.
Well, listen, it was a pleasure having you in. Thank you very much. One more time for Birds of Hell, please, everybody. Thank you. Just stay seated for a second. Okay, so next up, we are very privileged to get an audience with a man known as the Lord of Rhythm, a man who doesn't let boundaries or popular trends restrict him from performing his ever-evolving unique tunes, referred to by his followers as DJ Specs.
Yeah, that's good, mate, that's good. The answer to your question is, I've been through it all, mate. You know, I've been through it all.
I could have been a father. I could have been a father.
From the early noughties, now on the grime scene, you know, basic instrumentals, basic beats, that's all me, mate. You know, that's what I'm about. I can't get this right. Well, you know, that's the dream. That's the dream again. You know, getting back out there, you know, making DJ Specs what he once was again, you know.
Looking like a leader. Looking like a leader.
What a guy, and we'll be back with DJ Specs next week following his adventures in life. But now it's time where we get competitive and creative as well. If you two are ready, you'd like to stand up for this little game. We have a fishbowl. Thank you very much for that. You're both going to pick a word from here at random, I hope. And I'm going to give you like 10 seconds prep. I hope that's enough time for both of you. You should be able to do it on the spot, right? You're professionals. So, would you like to go first, Pete? Basically, you're both going to make a little song to do with the word you pull out. And then you, the audience, are going to judge which is the best by clapping louder for the person who does the best. You both feeling ready? What word do you have there, Pete? Frock. Okay, that's nice. And time. Any calls on who wants to go first here?
Okay, so you want me to sing? You want me to sing a song about a frock?
Yeah, that would be absolutely great.
I have a frock. It was given to me when I was just little. My mother was a jock. She passed it down, it was tartan, it meant a lot. But my frock, it can't hide my What am I going to do?
I don't know, that's good enough, I think.
My frock can't hide my There we go, that'll do.
Thank you very much. Wait, let's hold the applause, they've got to save that.
There's no way I can compete against that, is there?
Well, I don't know, now's your
I'll
chance.
have to go paint my face or something.
You have enough time, I hope.
Oh, well done.
Thanks. You can have that one. Good luck.
I don't know where to start. It's my time.
Time?
Yeah, can I have some backing vocals?
You can do it as a poem if you like. It doesn't have to be a song.
It's my time, yeah, me and mine. To string a few words together. Come help me out here, man. And I'm at the end of my tether. For this is my time.
You're wearing that.
Nice. This is my time, and now it is mine. Do you want to finish it off, Pete?
No.
Well, speaking of time, that's all we do
Well
have time
done,
for there. So first of all, if you think Birds of Hell did a better job there, could I hear your round of applause? Pretty loud. And for Khan. Nepotism going on, I don't know.
Rest of Khan.
I feel like that's almost a draw, but from that little shouting going on over in that corner, I feel like, yeah, Paul, you are the winner today. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Both of you, let's give them a round of applause for that. Just sit down for a second. You can. There we go. Can I get this bowl taken away? Thank you. So coming up at Epic Studio in the next couple of weeks, we have Real Friends, Go Fly Win, and Decade. So be sure to check out Epic's website, which you can see at the bottom of your screen now, for more information about who's playing and when. But that's really all we have time for this evening. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Big thanks to Khan and Birds of Hell and yourselves, the studio audience, for coming down today. Fantastic. And if you at home would like to take part in the audience, then email the Xanas team who are making this show at xanasmedia@gmail.com. We'll be back on your screens real soon. Until then, I bid you good night.